My first video was created to help understand some of the features of the game. This video will help you learn about how the juice and devices work and how to translate the symbols into words. Once you get through the first 3 to 5 levels, you'll get the hang of it because each level teaches you a new concept, challenge, or ability. Don't ignore any symbols. Pause this video at any time when you think you've received enough assistance to proceed. Every time the installer returns to the surface, the portable juice jar and your reserve will be empty. They must be refilled before going back down to any level. So drink up, Buttercup, and don't talk with your mouth full. When going down to any level, even a level you've been to before, you'll always start in the first room and with the lights off. Rooms will be pitch black, but you should see a small green light coming from a machine, device, station, whatever you want to call it. The installer should start with the station with the generic room icon on it. The generic room icon is always the 3D box icon. This station can be called the lights or power station. On the operator's tablet, there will be the room icon in the center of the keypad. That's the bottom portion of the tablet. When the operator selects this button, it opens up to the different stations that are in the installer's room. Once the installer adds juice to power and address the station, the operator will see an oddly flickering 3D box symbol on the keypad. That flicker is cue for the operator to hit that button. At this point, the operator enters the installer's symbols into the tablet. Press the flashing check mark. If the results are a green check mark, the correct symbols were selected. If the results are a red X, the tablet will highlight which symbol is incorrect. After symbols have been entered correctly on any station, the operator receives the switch button to turn on or off the station. After the operator turns on the lights, the light station icon on the keypad and the room on the map above will turn blue, indicating so. The installer will see some symbols on the wall. This is a message that needs to be translated. The light bulbs will be in your game too. The symbols to the right of the equal sign will be specific to your game. What this is telling you is that when the room is bright, it equals on. When the room is dark, it equals not on. So now you have the meaning of those two symbols. In my first video, I mentioned the orange memory chip puzzles. When the installer opens the memory chip, the installer sees 5x5 grid squares. But the operator sees targets or dots on the screen. The operator must communicate to the installer how to find these dots. The installer has the ability to draw with the juice by pressing the right trigger button. The installer must draw a drop of juice on the dots by either holding the trigger for a continuous line or squeezing and letting go of the trigger. Just get the juice on the dots in the order that they're highlighted on the operator's screen. If the installer is too slow, the puzzle will reset, or the installer may even struggle a bit to keep the memory chip open. Whenever you complete a connect the dot puzzle, the game teaches you a new ability. On the second level, this new ability tells you that the operator can label the symbols with text. The operator can give this new ability a try by finding the two symbols you translated earlier from above the light station. If the operator isn't sure where to go on the tablet, hit the green button with the back arrow until the operator sees what looks similar to keyboards and a film strip. 3 total available buttons. Select the center button to pull up the list of symbols. This will be a good time to move these symbols to the first page with the symbols that were relocated there from the first level. Once the operator locates the first symbol, select the script icon from the keypad. It has lines and a pencil. The top symbol can be labeled as on. The bottom symbol can be labeled as not or no. You will see these symbols again. Whenever the operator opens the door or camera icon on the keyboard, the next screen will show the amount and location of the doors and cameras. There can be 1 or more doors and cameras in a room. The keypad also mimics a compass telling you which side of the room the station is on, the north, south, east, or west wall of the room. Therefore, the operator should take note of what direction the station is on. For example, the camera on level 2 is on the west wall of the room. I'll get back to this shortly. The camera uses just a bit of juice to power it up. However, turning the camera on so that the operator can see in the room will drain the juice. So be very selective when using the camera. Remember, if the installer runs out of juice, the operator can extract the installer back to the surface at any time. The installer will have to rejuice the light station to turn the lights back on. Once a station has been successfully addressed, you won't have to do it again unless you choose to restart the level. If the installer looks at the top left corner of the wrist gadget, there is a compass image. When the installer rotates 360 degrees, the symbols next to the compass will change every 90 degrees. Have the installer stand in front of the camera, and the operator can state which directional side of the room it's on. When the installer looks at the camera, there will be a matching symbol between the camera and compass. Now you know what that matching symbol means: north, south, east, or west. The operator should label that symbol as so. In my video, we saw the same first two symbols on all the stations so far, so that's something in common we'll have to figure out later. But you should have noticed that there is a unique symbol on all the light stations, one unique symbol on all the cameras, and one unique symbol on all the doors. That unique symbol on each station identifies as that station. In my video, the TV with 5 people is my symbol for lights. The man that's leaning over is my symbol for camera. Now is a good time to label these symbols as such. If you haven't noticed yet, the light and extraction stations have only 3 symbols. The first 2 symbols are usually common with the other stations. The last symbol identifies the station. The door and camera stations have 4 symbols. The first 2 symbols are usually common with the other stations. The last 2 symbols identifies the station and compass direction. For example, the last 2 symbols on the camera in level 2 translate to west camera. The light and extraction stations do not have any directional symbols. Now go do all these steps with the door in the room. When the door does the scan, it's not scanning to see if the installer is present. It's actually scanning to see if the conditions are met to unlock the door. If there is a green check mark, the conditions to be completed in this room were met and the door can be unlocked. If there is a red X, then the conditions to be completed by the team in this room were not done. The conditions to unlock the door are the symbols that are displayed during the door scan. Although the installer's view of the symbols disappear, these symbols will remain on the operator's tablet as long as the operator doesn't hit another button. Here, you will have to translate what these symbols mean if you get a red X. Although this door was successful on its first scan, let's not ignore the symbols. Practice reading your symbols now. By now, you should have these symbols labeled on the operator's tablet. Here's a tip. Whenever you come across a new symbol going forward, write down or draw the symbol and describe what level and station you saw it on. More than likely, you'll be seeing that new symbol again. Whenever you proceed through a door to enter a new room, the room will be dark and the door will close and lock behind you. There is no way to go back, either figure out how to go forward or manually extract. In the second room on level 2, juice up the light station in order to address the station and turn the lights on. Here you should notice that the first symbol on this light station is different from previous light stations. Write a note describing the symbol and annotating that it was seen on level 2, room 2, first symbol of the light station. If you're not being harassed by the creature, though. Once the light station has been addressed and received a green check mark, you can take the juice out of the light station. The lights don't need to be on for the next step. If the creature is sleeping somewhere, aka not bothering you, you can leave the lights on. Now juice up the extraction station in order to address the station. When the installer needs the lights on to see, juice up the light station and ask the operator to turn them on, or demand, or yell, or whisper, whatever floats your boat. Or if you're feeling brave, engage the extraction machine in the dark. It's a good time, maybe, to see what happens to the extraction machine in the dark. Installer. Do your thing on the extraction station and make a decision. Pro tip, the crank continues to slowly turn after you release it. Guess what? It's using your juice. So hurry! Or you can try holding the crank still until you figure out the extraction puzzle, whether intentionally or accidentally. If you get a green check mark, you met the conditions of the station to leave. If you get a red X, you haven't met the conditions of the extraction station to leave. On this level, the condition on the extraction station shows two boxes. One is blue. Those boxes represent the level you're on. Do you remember seeing two boxes at the lift before going down? Earlier, I mentioned that the operator's room icon and room on the map will turn blue, indicating that the lights are on. So the empty box that the installer is seeing indicates the condition for the previous room. The blue box indicates the condition for the current room. You got it. Turn the lights on. The operator can see if there is a creature in the room when there is a red image in the center of the room on the map screen. In addition to the secrets you learned about in my first video, here is another secret. If the creature jumps on a station to drink your juice, quickly retrieve the juice from the station to save as much as you can. And now you have wild juice. Wink, wink. Here's a trick to get the creature to stop harassing you for a little bit. Get rid of your juice. Don't leave juice in any of the stations. No! Don't waste it. Drink it. Leave just one amount of juice in the watch. Lure the creature to jump on you and get ready to teleport in a direction away from the station you're trying to work on. Shake it off and scurry back to work. You'll find other creative ways to tell the creature to kick rocks on future levels. I hope that you found this on-the-job training video helpful. After you start understanding the concepts and challenges in this level, you should be more successful going forward. Like, comment, and subscribe if you are interested in future on-the-job training videos. It's time for me to clock out, so good luck with the new job, and thank you for choosing Elsewhere Electric.